Hi everyone and welcome back to PSEC, which is Pradip sir's English classes. So today we have with us yet another scholar and a vibrant lady who is from Bardhaman, and she's here to have a chat and a conversation about her life, her career aspirations, how she managed to get all the accolades and achievements that she has, and of course a little bit about how her journey was under the mentorship of Pradip sir. So, Abanti, welcome to our today's discussion. How are you keeping?
Ma'am, thank you so much. Firstly, I would like to thank you and our dearest Pradip sir for for inviting me into this beautiful conversation. I feel really blissful to be a part of it. And firstly, I would like to give a brief about my intro. My name is Avanti Goswami. I'm from Kalna, a small yet very appealing town located at the very heart of Burdwan district. And I've completed my schooling from Acme Academy, and I've just been a graduate from Burdwan University. I feel so content to let you guys share that I've successfully managed to score 91% in my ICSE examination. And besides, I've also been felicitated for ranking first in the class in ISC with 96% of score. Now, speaking about my recent days of education, I've just been a graduate and glad to let you know that once again I'm top of the scoreboard. Now, if I had to speak something about my hobbies, dreams, or aspirations, I have always visioned myself as a teacher because I just love lecturing. You can call it my hobby, my quality, or anything you may prefer tagging it, but it's my very comfortable arena, and it's something I'm very confident at. Like I just want people to listen to me and let me speak my heart out. And during the last few days of quarantine period, I managed to fetch a handful of students taking English classes from me, belonging to 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. And it was at that point of time that I realized a very important lesson of my life. That is, the more you teach, the better you learn, the better you progress, and the essence of the knowledge, you can delve deeper into the subject that you're teaching. You can realize your shortcomings, where you have to progress even better. And that's something where you stroke my mind that this is the very zone that I am comfortable at, and I need to further channelize myself deeper into this course. So I've always wanted to be a teacher, and that's where I'm gonna propel my further studies. I'm about to pursue my MA degree soon enough, and now talking about it, a major credit of this achievement, the journey I've faced so far, a major credit of this goes to, of course, Excel Education, and the very heart of this educational institution, that is, of course, Mr. Pradip Sen Gupta. If I had to speak one line for him, or I dedicate a one line for him, it would be that he has always been a fatherly figure to me, more as a fatherly figure than only my mentor and guide. I've been so comfortable with him. I have been a part of his class since I was in ninth. The very first day I stepped into his classroom, I was so fascinated just to feel the scholarly vibe, the scholarly ambience around. It is so tranquil, so peaceful atmosphere, and the way he talks, the way he conversates with people, it is so convincing, and he's very communicative with his students as well as their parents. And he has been so inspiring. It is of inestimable worth. Like every time he was like, speak English or read English more as a language than as a subject. The more you'll breathe, the more you'll feel English, the more you'll talk English. Just delve deeper into it, imbibe the language that the books have to offer you, and just be around books all the time. It will always be, books will always be your mate, even when they're unknown by your side. So it's something that has motivated me throughout. And my parents have also relied on him since the very first day, that you can always bank on him. You can always entrust yourself to him. He will always get you through, steer you through the right course of action. At times, I've always faced that. There are some moments in your life that just prior to your examinations, you feel like I'm not yet that prepared, or my self preparation is not yet so satisfactory. So at that moments of time, he has guided me so well. I just uh, you know I just went on to him and just, sir, please help me out, I'm facing some troubles. And just by attentively listening to him with utmost focus and just going on through his notes, they were sufficient enough to take on my examinations. Like, even without reading books, just listening to him, just focusing on to him attentively, his classes, they were sufficient enough. And hope so that in near future as well, I will be able to keep up to his expectations.
All right. That was a lot of insight and input from your end, Abanti. So thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. I have a few more
So,
questions to discuss with you in terms of, English as a language, etc. So my first question being that, Abanti, we come from a country wherein we have diverse states, and every state possibly has diverse languages around it, which is why when we look at Indians, I think we're progressing in every aspect. However, when it still comes to speaking in English, there's a little hesitance or a little underconfidence that people have, because English is not really the primary language that they speak, right? And for yourself, when you come from this beautiful, beautiful place called Kalna, and I'm sure there also maybe you do not have a lot of people who are communicating regularly in English. So how did you manage to develop? Your confidence for this language, and how do you think that you sort of muster the courage that now you don't really have to think in your native tongue and then translate it into English, but you just think in English and speak in English yourself? How did you manage that?
I'm honestly speaking, standing in today's time in 2022, when I just look back in time or take a trip down the memory lane, I just feel it inconceivable even to imagine that English was once the subject I was most afraid of. It's a very real fact that I used to find it nightmarishly hard, and I was awfully pathetic into it, being it my grammar, my sentence construction, or my pronunciation skills. They were just horrible. And yeah, I used to struggle just for the sake of scoring well, just for being a good student. You need to score well in English. It was the primary reason for studying English whatsoever. But ever since I stepped into Pradip sir's English Excel education classes, he has been a very, very, very well mentor. Firstly, he groomed he has enhanced my speaking skills, my pronunciation. Always, read this, read that, more, delve more deeper into books. And that's how I've progressed myself, my vocabulary. And today, where I'm standing, of course, a major credit goes to me, because I have transformed myself over the years by simply by reading articles. You can, if I had to share my opinion or my journey through the process, I will surely say that you need to more get deeper into the language that you're about to pursue. So that's how I developed my love for language. And currently, standing in today's time, English is my most favorite subject, and I want to further flourish into it. So this is my perseverance. This is my a very comfortable zone, my competence. I feel competent at it. And just simply read, make yourself more connected, more, accumulate more knowledge, more confidence, build confidence into it. If you're not confident enough into the subject that you're about to pursue, or if you don't find enough perseverance into it, I feel like you can never reach your goal. And just, you can, I personally speaking, personally sharing my opinion, I constantly read multiple articles in Google itself. I Google down anything. I try to prefer English more as a language than to my even to my mother tongue. It's a very real fact. And that's how I'm constantly grooming myself. Over these years, over this time, I've constantly groomed myself, and I have utilized the quarantine period, especially, to the fullest.
Correct.
Any new work that I get in touch with, I simply note it down, prepare it, and try to, ingrain it into my daily word stock. That's how I continue preparing myself.
Absolutely. I think, like Abanti mentioned, it's one step at a time. So maybe initially, I think when we all started reading, none of us must have survived more than 1 or 2 pages. And eventually,
Yeah.
then, you stay consistent and you try reading, and then you start developing interest. And then I also feel that personally, for me, something that happened is that I realized that I have a lot of content to speak about with people that they did not know of. So that gave me
Yeah.
more motivation that you have the chance to sort of be different when you know more.
You motivate your own self, and
Absolutely.
it's you then who builds confidence in you. No one can, supply in people can just inspire you or build confidence, but it's you who are going to be consistent and perseverance into it.
Right, right. So my next question, Abanti, that you mentioned to us that you've been under Pradeep sir's mentorship since you were in class 9, to an extent that today now you're going to pursue your masters. So I think it's been a long journey, and also especially to stick to the same teacher throughout this journey across different stages of your life is a very big thing this day, today. So what do you have to say about Pradeep sir and his style of teaching, and what do you think is different about him as a person, as a teacher, that you do not really find in other people around you?
So I distinguish him from other teachers or other mentors that I've come across, and it's simply because he is very friendly, very amicable with us, with his students. The moment he sits, he takes a seat before his students, he feels like he is just one of them. That he's like, I am now one of you all, and you are my students. You can also teach me too. A very striking praiseworthy feature that he has as a mentor, as a student, is that he always inspires his students that you can ask me questions. The more you ask questions, the more you let your students feel so homely around. I've always felt so homely, so comfortable around him that I can question anything that pops my mind, be it related to my studies or out of my syllabus, anything. Pardon. So he has always motivated that, yeah, you can keep on asking questions, and that one-on-one conversation will make the class more lively, more organized, more well developed. And that's how I really feel confident speaking to him. And at times he has not just steered me through my academic courses, but he has also provided me with pragmatic counseling into different other domains too. He is very friendly, and that actually helps students absorb things faster. And that's what I feel like he is specialized at. And I just want to add on something, that it was during the last quarantine days that he personally invited me when the schools, colleges were shut down, tutorship was being, means there were a lot of hindrances entering into coaching classes or stuff like that. So I was feeling really helpless at times because my examinations were knocking at the door. So he personally invited me that I'll teach you, I'll course you, I'll mentor you, and that was absolutely free of cost. Means he was teaching me just for the sake of teaching, and it was in that process that he say that, for instance, he was teaching me Macbeth at a certain point of time, and he was like, I have not read this book since a very long time, so while teaching it will also pop my mind again. I'll also be able to rejuvenate my mind, my memories that once I had read the book about. So that's how he just becomes a part of his students. And that is the reason I think that his students become so friendly with him as well.
I think absolutely that's a very indistinguishable quality that any teacher or mentor can have. That when you can sort of make someone feel home, people
Yeah, yeah.
tend to lose the fear of the subject, and they sort of want to take two
Without the
steps more.
students never feel like a discomfort or reluctance to even speak or ask questions.
Absolutely. All right. So coming to my last question, Abanti, for you, we have a lot of people today in India, young people like you, who are actually really wanting to now take up this subject, develop their communication skills. A lot of them, of course, aspire to be teachers, and a lot of them would also be working to the corporate, right? What would be your message to them as the topper of a university, topper of a class 12 ISC examination? What is what are your parting thoughts for all of these people who also have a lot of aspirations like you just did before a few years?
It's simply just build perseverance in you. Any motive or any goal that you have set for yourself, absolutely fine with it. Just do not shift your course of action. Any person or any teacher, any mentor that you feel like so home before, like I myself feel so comfortable before Pradip sir. You can always consult such people, or you can always be around such people, make a comfortable zone for you, and just keep striving hard. And another important message that I want to share with youngsters like me, that it's not just about working hard, it's about smart work too. Not necessarily the more you put in efforts, the better you'll perform. It's also about using your brain, or using the right method, or devising the right strategy at the right point of time. So, yeah, you always need to give or put in certain time, certain efforts into the subject or into the language that you're about to learn. Like I myself, I'm still in the process to flourish more into the language. I constantly read, I constantly write, I try to prepare my own answers. That's a very, I feel like a very integral part to develop yourself way more. Just by memorizing it, of course, there are times that you need to memorize answers or you need to follow books, but at times there is also a big necessity that pops up, and it's that you need to write down your own answers. You need to pen them down, you need to show them to your teachers, you get them corrected, you rectify your mistakes or your shortcomings, and you again rewrite, repractice. So yeah, practice makes a man perfect. That's a very, integral line. And yeah, that's how you can keep yourself consistent into it.
Thank you so much, Abanti, for all that information and
Thank you.
taking us
Thank
through
you for
your
making me a
journey.
part of this conversation. I
And
feel so glad.
I think we can all conclude that, with the right sort of passion coupled with
Yeah.
the correct guidance, the sky is not even the limit for all of us. Everyone can make stories no matter which part, where they come from, as long as, they have that passion and dedication, coupled with, of course, somebody who is giving you the correct guidance to steer your ship. So that brings us to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much for being with us. And Abanti, we wish you the best for your future endeavors. May you keep shining brightly always.
Thank you.
Thank you.